Imagine standing at the edge of a stormy sea. The waves crash violently against the rocks, and the wind howls as if it's trying to tear the world apart. You have two choices: either let the storm consume you, or stand firm, unshaken, and master the chaos within. This is the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy not of escape, but of mastery. It's about facing the uncomfortable truths of life head-on, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The path to real change begins when we stop running from what terrifies us and start confronting it. Are you ready to face the storm? Number 1. You cannot control external events, only your reactions. The Stoics believe that the world is divided into two realms, what is within our control and what is not. As Epictetus famously said, some things are within our power, while others are not. We cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or the twists of fate, but we can control how we respond. This is where true power lies. Every day, life throws challenges at us: traffic jams, rude comments, unexpected setbacks. These are not the problem. The problem is our reaction. When we blame external events for our misery, we give away our power. Stoicism teaches us to reclaim it. By focusing on our inner world, our thoughts, judgments, and actions, we become unshakable. Ask yourself, how often do you waste energy fighting what you cannot change? What if instead you channeled that energy into mastering your mind? The Stoics practiced this through daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, would begin each day by reminding himself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil." By into challenges, he prepared himself to respond with wisdom rather than react with emotion. This is not about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming intentional. When you master your reactions, you master your life. Consider the story of a ship captain. He cannot control the wind or the waves, but he can adjust the sails. Similarly, we cannot control external events, but we can control how we navigate them. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. Number 2. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Life is pain. This is not pessimism, it's realism. The Stoics understood that hardship is woven into the fabric of existence. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Suffering is a choice. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When we resist pain, when we scream at the universe for being unfair, we amplify our suffering. Stoicism teaches us to accept pain as a natural part of life. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about refusing to let pain define us. Think of a time when you faced a difficult situation. Did you resist it, or did you accept it and grow stronger? The choice is always yours. Seneca, another great Stoic, compared life to a play. We don't control the script, but we control how we perform our role. He wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant." By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. This doesn't mean we become passive. On the contrary, acceptance gives us the clarity to act effectively. When we stop fighting reality, we can focus on what truly matters. Consider the story of a tree in a storm. The rigid tree breaks under pressure, while the flexible tree bends and survives. Similarly, by accepting pain and adapting to it, we become resilient. Number 3. Your emotions are not your master. Anger, fear, jealousy, these emotions can feel overwhelming as if they control us. But the Stoics believe that emotions are not facts, they are interpretations. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, warned, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." The key is not to suppress emotions, but to understand them. When you feel anger rising, pause. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? Is it justified? What can I learn from it? By observing your emotions without being ruled by them, you gain mastery over yourself. This is not easy. It requires discipline and self-awareness, but the reward is freedom. Freedom from being a slave to your own mind. Epictetus taught that our emotions are shaped by our judgments. If we judge something as bad, we feel anger or sadness. But if we change our judgment, we change our emotional response. For example, instead of seeing a setback as a failure, we can see it as an opportunity to learn. This shift in perspective is transformative. It allows us to respond to life's challenges with clarity and calm. Consider the story of a warrior. He feels fear before battle, but he does not let fear control him. Instead, he uses it to sharpen his focus. Similarly, we can use our emotions as tools rather than letting them control us. Number 4. You are not entitled to anything. The modern world tells us we deserve happiness, success, and comfort. Stoicism tells us otherwise. As Epictetus bluntly put it, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The truth is, life owes us nothing. The universe is indifferent. This may sound harsh, but it's liberating. When we stop expecting life to be fair, we stop being disappointed. Instead, we focus on what we can do with what we have. Ask yourself, how much of your frustration comes from unmet expectations? What if you let go of entitlement and embraced gratitude for what you already have? Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate contentment. This doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement. It means we approach life with humility and gratitude, recognizing that every moment is a gift. Consider the story of a beggar who dreams of wealth. One day, he finds a gold coin and rejoices, but soon he begins to crave more. His joy turns to misery. The Stoics teach us to find joy in what we have, rather than constantly chasing what we lack. Number 5. Comfort is the enemy of growth. We live in a world that worships comfort, but the Stoics knew that comfort is a trap. It lulls us into complacency and weakens our spirit. As Seneca warned, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Real growth happens outside your comfort zone. It's in the struggle, the effort, the sweat, and tears. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you deny yourself the opportunity to become stronger. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that scared you? When did you last push yourself to your limits? If it's been a while, it's time to change that. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to build resilience. They would fast, sleep on the floor, or endure cold to remind themselves that they could thrive without luxury. This practice, known as ascesis, was not about self-punishment, but about self-mastery. By embracing discomfort, we become stronger, more adaptable, and more alive. Consider the story of a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. The struggle is necessary for its wings to grow strong. Similarly, our struggles make us stronger. Number 6. Your time is finite. Use it wisely. Memento mori, remember death. This Stoic practice is not meant to depress you, but to awaken you. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The uncomfortable truth is that our time is limited. Every moment wasted is a moment you'll never get back. Yet, how often do we squander our days on trivialities? How often do we procrastinate, waiting for the right time to start living? Stoicism teaches us to live with urgency and purpose. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." He urged us to treat time as our most precious resource, for it is the one thing we can never get back. Ask yourself, what would you do if you knew your time was running out? What are you waiting for? Consider the story of a man on his deathbed. He reflects on his life and realizes he wasted years chasing things that didn't matter. Don't let this be you. Live with purpose, starting today. Number 7. You are responsible for your own happiness. We often look for happiness in external things, money, relationships, success, but the Stoics knew that true happiness comes from within. As Epictetus said, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. The uncomfortable truth is that no one can make you happy. Not your partner, not your job, not your achievements. Happiness is a choice, a daily practice of gratitude, self-discipline, and inner peace. Ask yourself, are you waiting for something or someone to make you happy? What if you took responsibility for your own joy? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating a mindset of gratitude and acceptance, we can find joy even in the simplest moments. This doesn't mean we stop striving for external goals. It means we stop relying on them for our happiness. Consider the story of a man who searched the world for happiness, only to find it in his own backyard. True happiness is within you. Number 8. Failure is not the end, it's a teacher. We fear failure because we see it as a reflection of our worth, but the Stoics saw it differently. To them, failure was a teacher, a necessary step on the path to wisdom. As Seneca wrote, failure changes for the better, success for the worse. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become stronger. The only true failure is giving up. Think about it. What would you do if you weren't afraid of failing? What could you achieve if you embraced failure as part of the journey? Epictetus taught that failure is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. He said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Every failure is a step toward mastery. By reframing failure as feedback, we free ourselves from fear and open ourselves to growth. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each failure brought him closer to success. Number 9. You must confront your fears. Fear is a powerful emotion. It can paralyze us, keep us stuck, and prevent us from living fully. But the Stoics believed that the only way to overcome fear is to face it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." The uncomfortable truth is that fear will never go away, but you can learn to walk through it. Every time you confront your fears, you become braver, stronger, and more resilient. What are you afraid of? What's holding you back? It's time to face it. Seneca advised, "He who is brave is free." By facing our fears, we liberate ourselves from their grip and discover our true strength. Consider the story of a lion tamer. He does not eliminate the lion's ferocity. He learns to work with it. Similarly, we can learn to work with our fears. Number 10. You must let go of what you cannot change. We cling to the past, to lost opportunities, to people who have hurt us. But the Stoics knew that clinging only brings suffering. As Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." The uncomfortable truth is that some things are beyond our control. We must let them go. This doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop allowing the past to dictate our present. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to that you need to release? What would your life look like if you let go? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." By letting go of what we cannot change, we make room for what we can. Consider the story of a man carrying a heavy rock. He complains of the weight, but refuses to put it down. Let go of the rock, and you free yourself. The path of Stoicism is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage, discipline, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. But the rewards are immense: inner peace, resilience, and the freedom to live fully. As we stand at the edge of the stormy sea, we have a choice. Will we let the chaos consume us, or will we master it? The choice is yours. Remember, the storm will always rage, but with Stoicism you can stand firm, unshaken, and free. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.